Hey team, Chris here. Hey, today I want to talk about losing excess body fat, but why it's important to preserve the amount of lean muscle mass that you have on your body. So it's not just all about losing weight when you step on the scales, that number on the scales. It's actually about being a bit clever and a bit specific with it and losing one part of our body that sort of we want to get rid of, but maintaining and holding on to and preserving another part of our body that is precious to us and useful and that we want to keep. So I'm going to use props, as I like to do, because I like to keep it simple. And I've got this quilt here, this fluffy summer quilt, so it's not super thick, but this is my prop for excess body fat. So this is a layer over our body, over our internal organs and over our bones and even over our muscles, under our skin, but it protects us. It has a job to do. A lot of people just want to get rid of all body fat in their mind. They're like, it has no job, it has no purpose, let's get rid of all body fat. But it actually has a job to do. It protects us, it gives us padding, it keeps us warm, it protects all of our bones and our internal organs. So we don't want to get rid of all of it. But maybe, just maybe, if you have sort of more layers of this body fat than you want, then you want to get rid of some of it, but not all of it. So that's a distinction there. Now, underneath our body fat, but over our internal organs and our bones, etc., are muscles. So they're hard and they're firm and they're small and they're compact. And I use batteries as a prop because batteries burn energy, and it sort of gives us that real useful analogy that it helps us do things, it burns energy, and we want to maintain it, we want to keep it. That is there over our internal organs, over our, if it was here, over our internal organs, over our bones, over our skeletal system, but underneath this excess fluffy body fat that maybe we want to reduce. Now, these two are separate parts of our body. Muscle can't turn to fat and fat can't turn to muscle. We can decrease one or we can increase another one, but they're two different parts. They can't turn to each other, so we'll get that straight. Also, what I want to say is this small little muscle here may weigh 1/2 kilo, for example, and a big chunk of this body fat may weigh 1/2 kilo. This one takes up less room. So for that reason, sometimes the scales aren't the best measure if you're looking to lose this and maintain this, or even build some of this. Sometimes the scales aren't the best measure. If you have a lot of body fat to lose, 15, 20 kilos of body fat to lose, the scales can be a really good, useful measure. Even over 10 kilos, I think the scales can be a useful measure. But as you get closer to your goal weight, the scales are going to be less useful. They're still going to be of use, but they're going to be less useful, and you may want to combine that with taking your waist measurement, taking some other body measurements, how you're looking in pictures, how you're looking in clothes, how you're feeling, all of those kinds of things combined with the scales. They're not the be-all and end-all. So I just want to make that distinction there. So why would we want to preserve this while losing this? Well, this lean muscle mass helps us burn energy. So if we lose some of this, we actually slow down our metabolism and we burn less energy over the day, which means it's harder and harder to maintain the weight loss because we have to eat less and less to maintain that weight loss. We want to keep the muscle mass on there to keep our metabolism as high as we can, meaning we can eat a little bit extra while keeping that weight loss maintained. Now, I just want to tell you, all that this excess body fat is excess calories that you've eaten at some stage in your past that you didn't burn up, that you didn't use up yet. It's just a reserve energy system. Now, these excess calories can be from healthy calories or unhealthy. It can be from chocolate cake, or can be from chicken sandwiches, whatever it might be. Excess is excess, and in the case of the human body, most of the time it gets turned into reserve energy, excess body fat. So to reverse this, to use some of this, what we need to do is to create a calorie deficit. Now that's a technical term. All we mean is to burn up more calories than we consume each day or each week. And then that's going to pull from this reserve energy source. But we know we want to do this whilst maintaining this precious lean, useful muscle mass. So all it is, it takes 2 steps: create a calorie deficit and get adequate protein. So instead of just one step of create a calorie deficit, burn up as many calories as possible, we want to do it in a sensible, smart, healthy way by getting adequate nutrients as well. And the main one is protein, but I'd also love to get adequate vegetables in there as well, just for health wise as well. So, protein doesn't have to equal meat if you're a vegetarian. There's lots of vegetarian sources. We talk about it a lot more in my coaching program, so hit me up for that in the comment section below if you're curious about that. But it's, as I said, it's not always about just burning up the maximum amount of calories and choosing the lowest calorie food. Sometimes we want to choose value calorie foods that are going to keep us full and that have some protein in our meal as well. Also, what we'd want to be doing is some form of resistance training a couple of times a week. Doesn't have to be crazy, doesn't have to be every day for an hour. Couple of hours a week, maybe 2 to 3 sessions per week of sort of 40 minutes, covering all of the body parts: upper, front, upper back, lower front and back, some abs, some core work as well. And that's going to help maintain and preserve and maybe even build some of this precious lean muscle mass underneath there. That's going to keep our metabolism high whilst reducing that excess body fat. Now we know, I already talked about this excess body fat is excess calories that we haven't burnt at some stage in the past. So if we're creating a calorie deficit, we know we need to burn off about 7,000 calories to lose 1 kilo of weight. So most of that is going to come from your nutritional plan, because an exercise session only burns about 400 to 500 calories per session. So that's a small drop in the ocean compared to your nutritional plan. If you'd like more information on this, I'd love you to PM me or comment below and let me know. I do have a coaching program starting on Monday, teaching you how you can create this calorie deficit whilst preserving lean muscle mass, and you can do it by eating less just 2 days per week and eating regularly 5 days per week. Sounds, too good to be true. Believe me, I thought so too until I started trialing it out, and it's been a game changer for myself and for my clients. But if you want more information on that, I'm actually looking for 10 more people, open-minded people, to test it out, and starting on Monday. So I'd love to have a chat with you. Private message me or comment below, and we're going to talk about losing this whilst preserving this precious muscle mass that helps us do stuff, pick stuff up and be strong and be useful and burn energy and burn calories and keep our metabolism high. Okay team, that's all I got for you for today, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and have a wonderful evening. Thanks guys.